You are listening to a training video for the Chess Reseller Portal, logging faults and managing existing log faults. Please note if this is a WR3 line fault, please visit this portal directly and log the fault, managing it via the KCIs. If this is a business broadband fault, please visit this portal directly and log a fault ticket. If this is an LLU line fault or any other Chess broadband product fault, please do this via this menu. We now have two options, New Fault for logging new faults and the Search tab for looking at and managing existing faults logged. For logging a new fault, proceed by completing each of the mandatory fields. For an example, we will log a line fault under an issue of no dial tone. The status of the fault will automatically be open. Please proceed by giving as much information as you can regarding this fault. The more detail you can give to our faults team regarding what has been done to try and resolve this fault so far will help them better analyse and fix it for you. For example, by noting here that we have changed the filter and the handset, our faults team know that these problem areas have already been looked at and then they can move on with working on to resolve the fault. The contact name is your name, your contact number, and your email address. Please note that if we try to continue without completing a field correctly, it will flag up to tell you this. We can also send you proactive updates, so please tick this box if you would prefer that. The fault number is the most important field in that this is the CLI where the fault resides. This is your customer's name and his company name. Because this is a line fault we are logging, the line quality is important. So we will put this as very poor because there is no dial tone. If this was a broadband fault we were logging and the line quality was still good because the customer could receive calls and make calls out, we would put this in this field. Confirming time-related charges. If the fault gets to a stage where an engineer is required to visit the customer's premises, we need to know that you have discussed with your customer potential time-related charges. This means that if the engineer visits site and finds that the fault does not reside with the line or the exchange, but with the customer's equipment or within their premises, they will be charged time-related charges. These would be billed through to Chess, which we would invoice to you so you could invoice to your customer. But in order to know that we can look at your fault properly, we need to know that the time-related charges have been accepted. And this is also why it is so important that the customer tries to do as much as they can before logging the fault to fix it themselves. For example, changing filters and handset. We have optional fields here which are not mandatory. However, if you do have the information to hand, please do populate them. When you have finished, click Save Fault. We can now see that this has been logged directly through to our customer support faults team. And when 4 hours has passed and you would like to have an update, select the Search tab and you can see the fault there. Selecting the fault in more detail by the fault ID, you can see a summary of the details that you entered. Within 4 hours, our faults team will have looked at this for you and provided an update. Select the Notes tab. Their updates would be here below. However, feel free should you need to add further notes yourself to this fault ticket. For example, if your customer contacted you during the 4 hours initially and said that the service had now become intermittent and wasn't always without no dial tone, you could add this in to give our faults team more insight into the fault. This concludes our training session for the Chess Reseller Portal, logging new faults and managing existing faults logged.